Have you ever been told that taking your daily vitamins is the easiest way to stay healthy as you age? A little pill for your heart, one for your bones, another for your energy. Seems simple, right? But here's the part nobody tells you. Some of the very vitamins advertised as must-haves for seniors could actually be chipping away at your health. Instead of protecting your body, they might be piling up in your system, straining your liver, clogging your arteries, or even quietly damaging your nerves. And the worst part? Most people over 60 take these pills every single day without realizing the risk. That's why in today's video, we're pulling back the curtain on supplements. We'll reveal the 4 vitamins you should avoid or rethink after 60. And just as importantly, the 4 vitamins you should make part of your daily routine to sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and add real years to your life. Stick with me, because the final nutrient on this list has been linked to lowering overall risk of death. And no, that's not hype, that's science. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell. That way you'll always have access to the latest health insights designed to keep you stronger, sharper, and independent, well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. Here's the thing about supplements. What worked for you at 40 doesn't necessarily work the same way at 65. Your body has changed, whether you feel it or not. Your liver, once a fast filter, now processes toxins more slowly. Your kidneys, which used to flush out excess nutrients with ease, don't clear as efficiently. Even your nerves and blood vessels are more fragile, more sensitive to overload. That means the vitamins that seemed harmless a few decades ago can actually start accumulating, sometimes turning into silent health traps. And the sneaky part? The warning signs like fatigue, joint pain, dizziness, or brain fog look almost identical to what most people just chalk up to normal aging. So you might think you're just getting older, when in reality, it's the pills in your cabinet working against you. This is why we need to rethink supplements after 60. It's not about taking more pills, it's about taking the right ones in the right form. And that starts with cutting out the vitamins that quietly do more harm than good. Up first is a nutrient that's been marketed as a hero for decades. But after 60, it can quietly become toxic. On the surface, vitamin A sounds like a superhero. It supports your eyes, your skin, and your immune system. For years, it's been praised as essential for healthy aging. But here's the shocking twist. After 60, the retinol form of vitamin A, the synthetic version you'll find in many multivitamins and liver-based supplements, can actually turn toxic. Why? Because vitamin A is fat-soluble, which means your body doesn't just flush out the excess in urine the way it does with vitamin C or B vitamins. Instead, it gets stored in your liver and fat tissues, and as you age, your liver slows down, your fat distribution shifts, and your system struggles to process the overflow. So the vitamin A you take today doesn't leave tomorrow. It accumulates, drop by drop, until it spills over into problems. The symptoms often sneak up on people and look just like getting old. Dry skin and brittle hair, dizziness or blurred vision, achy joints, constant fatigue. But it doesn't stop there. A European review in 2022 linked excess vitamin A intake in seniors to a higher risk of irregular heartbeat, which can dramatically raise the chance of a stroke. In other words, that little capsule you thought was harmless might actually be stressing your heart. So how much is too much? For older adults, anything above 700 micrograms per day for women or 900 micrograms for men in retinol form starts pushing into danger territory. And here's the kicker. Many popular senior multivitamins overshoot this number without you even realizing it. The safer path. You don't need to cut vitamin A entirely because your body still needs it, but swap the retinol form for beta-carotene, the version found in foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and eggs. Your body only converts beta-carotene into vitamin A when it needs to, like a built-in safety switch. No risk of overdose, no silent buildup. The bottom line? After 60, retinol is no longer your friend. If your supplement label says retinol or retinol palmitate, it's time to rethink. Let food supply your vitamin A naturally, and let your body decide how much to use. But vitamin A isn't the only so-called healthy supplement that can backfire. The next one is even more dangerous, because most seniors take it for energy without realizing it may actually be rusting their body from the inside out. When people hear the word iron, they usually think of energy. Doctors prescribe it for fatigue. Multivitamins slip it in as a cure for tiredness. For decades, iron has been marketed as the answer for brittle nails, pale skin, and weakness. But here's the hidden truth. After 60, iron can quietly shift from friend to foe. The problem is that iron doesn't flush out easily. Unlike water-soluble vitamins which exit through urine, excess iron stays behind, stored in your liver, heart, and pancreas. Over time, it acts like rust on a pipe, corroding your organs from the inside. Why does this become an issue with age? Simple. Men stop losing iron after puberty, and women stop after menopause. That natural iron drain is gone. Unless you've had a surgery, a bleeding ulcer, or a diagnosed condition, chances are you're not deficient. So every extra milligram you swallow has nowhere to go but into long-term storage. And here's where it gets dangerous. Research links excess iron to higher risks of dementia, heart disease, liver damage, and even some cancers. The cruel trick is that the early signs, fatigue that never seems to improve, achy joints, brain fog, or irregular heartbeats, are easy to confuse with ordinary aging. So most people never suspect iron overload until it's already taken a toll. To make things worse, many senior multivitamins still include iron by default. Combine that with red meat, beans, or fortified cereals, and your iron intake can quietly stack higher and higher. The smarter move? Check your labels. If your multivitamin has iron and your doctor hasn't told you you're deficient, switch to an iron-free formula. Test before you guess. Ask your doctor for a serum ferritin or transferrin saturation test. That's how you know if your iron is too high or too low. Rely on food first. Lean meats, leafy greens, beans, and seafood will naturally balance your iron without forcing extra storage. The bottom line? Iron is essential when you're young and losing blood regularly. But after 60, it's usually not your friend. Instead of boosting your energy, it may be accelerating aging, stressing your heart, and clouding your memory. And iron isn't the only nutrient with a reputation bigger than its reality. The next one has been called the ultimate bone protector for decades, but when taken alone, it can actually harden the very arteries that keep you alive. For years, seniors have been told one simple rule: if you want strong bones, take calcium every day. It's in commercials, pamphlets, and nearly every bone health multivitamin on the shelf. But here's the truth most people never hear. Calcium supplements, especially when taken alone, can actually hurt your heart more than they help your bones. Here's why. When you're young, your bones act like sponges. They soak up calcium easily, guided by hormones that know exactly where to send it. But after 60, that system slows down. Bones stop absorbing efficiently, so all the extra calcium you're swallowing doesn't always go into your skeleton. Instead, it can drift into the wrong places, into your arteries where it hardens blood vessels, into your joints where it fuels stiffness, even into your kidneys where it forms painful stones. A 2016 review published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that seniors who relied on calcium supplements had a significantly higher risk of heart disease. In other words, while you thought you were protecting your bones, you might have been quietly stressing your cardiovascular system. The early signs of calcium overload are easy to dismiss: constipation, bloating, joint aches, fatigue, even cloudy concentration. But over time, the damage becomes much more serious: calcified arteries, kidney stones, and a higher risk of stroke or heart attack. And here's the kicker: calcium on its own doesn't even work well for bone strength. It needs partners. Vitamin D3 helps your body absorb it. Vitamin K2 directs it into your bones and keeps it out of your arteries. Magnesium balances it so it doesn't harden your tissues. Without that team, a plain calcium pill is like pouring cement into your bloodstream without any blueprint. The better approach? Get most of your calcium from foods like leafy greens, sardines with bones, yogurt, almonds, and chia seeds. If you supplement, make sure it's paired with D3, K2, and magnesium. Don't forget movement. Weight-bearing exercise is just as powerful as calcium for building bone density. The bottom line? Calcium is essential, but not in the way you've been sold. Alone, it can clog arteries and stiffen joints. Balanced with the right nutrients and lifestyle, it can still protect your bones without putting your heart at risk. And if calcium's reputation just crumbled for you, wait until you hear about the next one, a harmless vitamin that in high doses can quietly poison your nervous system. When most people hear vitamin B6, they think safe. It's water-soluble, it boosts energy, it supports nerves. What harm could it do? But here's the shocking truth. Unlike most B vitamins, high doses of B6 don't just flush away. They can actually build up in your nerve tissue and quietly cause lasting damage. This is especially dangerous for older adults. As you age, your liver slows down, your nerves are more fragile, and your body has a harder time clearing excess. That's why seniors who load up on B6 are far more likely to run into problems like nerve damage, burning sensations, tingling, poor balance, and unexplained weakness. A 2017 study published in Neurology found that older adults who took high doses of B6 were twice as likely to develop nerve damage compared to those who stayed within safe limits. And here's the catch. You don't have to be taking mega doses for years to be at risk. Even 50 milligrams a day over long periods has been shown to cause trouble in some people, while many nerve support or energy booster supplements pack 100 milligrams or more into a single serving. The real danger is how easy it is to stack B6 without realizing it. Maybe your multivitamin has it, your energy formula adds more, and your fortified cereal throws in another boost. Before you know it, you're overdosing every single day. The symptoms are sneaky: tingling hands and feet, frequent falls, constant fatigue, brain fog. You might blame all of it on just aging. But in reality, your supplements may be the silent culprit. The safe path: stick to food sources like chickpeas, turkey, bananas, and tuna, which provide just enough B6 without the overload. Seniors only need about 1.5 milligrams daily for women and 1.7 milligrams for men. Compare that to the 50-100 milligrams doses hiding in many products. It's a massive difference. Check your labels. If your supplement contains more than 5 to 10 milligrams per serving, it's time to switch. Ask your doctor for a B6 test if you're concerned, especially if you've been taking nerve or energy support formulas. The bottom line? Vitamin B6 itself isn't the villain. It's the dosage. In moderation, it protects your nerves. In excess, it destroys them. After 60, the goal isn't to flood your system, it's to give your body just enough to stay balanced. Now that we've uncovered the 4 vitamins you should avoid after 60, let's flip the script. Because staying healthy isn't just about cutting out the harmful, it's about adding in the powerful. Next up, the 4 nutrients your body craves daily to stay strong, sharp, and energized well into your later years. If there's one nutrient most seniors are running low on without even realizing it, it's magnesium. The signs look like normal aging: trouble sleeping, nighttime leg cramps, constant fatigue, even an irregular heartbeat. But in reality, these are often classic red flags that your body's magnesium tank is running on empty. Why does this deficiency show up so often after 60? 2 reasons. First, your body absorbs less magnesium as you age. Second, many of the most common senior medications like blood pressure pills, acid reflux drugs, and diuretics actually drain magnesium from your system. That means even if you eat fairly well, your levels can slowly slide downward year by year. And here's why that matters. Magnesium is involved in over 300 processes in your body. It keeps your heart rhythm steady, helps your muscles contract and relax, supports nerve communication, regulates blood sugar, and even strengthens bones by partnering with calcium and vitamin D. Without enough magnesium, those systems start misfiring, leaving you feeling older than you should. A 2018 study in the journal Nutrients found that seniors with low magnesium had a 50% higher risk of irregular heartbeat, a condition that raises stroke risk significantly. Other research ties deficiency to memory problems, type 2 diabetes, and chronic inflammation, the very forces that speed up aging. The good news? restoring magnesium can be life-changing. Many seniors report deeper sleep, fewer nighttime cramps, sharper memory, and steadier energy once their levels are back on track. The smart way to get it: avoid cheap forms like magnesium oxide. They're poorly absorbed and often cause stomach upset. Choose magnesium glycinate, citrate, or malate. These are gentler and much better absorbed. Aim for about 250 to 100 milligrams per day, depending on your diet and health. And don't forget food sources: spinach, pumpkin seeds, almonds, avocados, black beans, and yes, even a little dark chocolate. Magnesium might not be flashy, but it's the foundation. Fix the deficiency, and suddenly many problems you thought were just aging begin to fade. And if magnesium is the quiet workhorse, the next vitamin is the master switch, the one your body literally can't make enough of after 60. If magnesium is the quiet fixer, then vitamin D3 is the master switch. It doesn't just keep your bones strong. It influences your muscles, your immune system, even your mood and memory. Without it, your entire foundation starts to crumble. Here's the problem. By the time you're over 65, your skin's ability to make vitamin D from sunlight drops by more than 50%. Add in spending more time indoors, wearing sunscreen, or living in areas with weaker sunlight, and deficiency becomes almost guaranteed. Why does vitamin D3 matter so much after 60? Bones. It works with calcium and vitamin K2 to keep them dense and fracture-resistant. Muscles. Low D3 weakens muscles, making falls more likely. Immunity. Seniors low in D3 face a higher risk of infections and slower healing. Brain. Research links deficiency to low mood, memory decline, and even higher risk of dementia. A 2020 review in the British Medical Journal found that older adults with low vitamin D had a 30% higher risk of death from all causes. In other words, this isn't just about brittle bones, it's about your overall survival. The symptoms are sneaky: constant fatigue, low mood or depression, frequent colds, aching muscles, poor balance. Most people shrug them off as just aging, but the real culprit may be low vitamin D3. The smart fix: most multivitamins only give you 400–800 IU, which is too low for seniors. Most older adults need 1,000–2,000 IU daily just to stay balanced. Always choose vitamin D3 cholecalciferol, not D2, since it's far more effective. Take it with a meal that contains healthy fats like salmon, avocado, or olive oil, because D3 is fat-soluble and absorbs much better this way. If your blood test shows you're low, your doctor may recommend higher doses temporarily to restore your levels. Food can help. Fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy are solid sources, but once you're past 60, food alone usually isn't enough. That's why targeted supplementation is so important. Vitamin D3 is your shield against frailty. With it, your bones stay strong, your muscles steady, and your immune system ready to fight. Without it, everything weakens. But there's another vitamin just as critical, one that acts like the body's spark plug, keeping your nerves firing and your memory sharp. And without it, seniors often mistake deficiency for dementia. If vitamin D3 is your shield, then vitamin B12 is your spark plug. It keeps your nerves firing, your blood flowing, and your memory sharp. Without it, your body starts breaking down in ways that can look terrifyingly similar to dementia. Here's the shocking part. By age 65, up to 1 in 4 seniors is already deficient in B12, and most have no idea. Why? Because aging changes how your stomach works. You produce less stomach acid, which is needed to release B12 from food. On top of that, common senior medications like antacids for reflux or metformin for diabetes make absorption even worse. That means even if you eat eggs, chicken, or dairy, your body may not be pulling in enough to stay healthy. Why is B12 so important? Brain and memory. It protects nerve cells and helps prevent brain shrinkage, keeping your mind clear. Blood. It's vital for making red blood cells, preventing anemia and fatigue. Balance and strength. It keeps nerves communicating with muscles, protecting against weakness and falls. The danger is that deficiency doesn't just make you tired. It can actually mimic dementia, depression, or neuropathy. Many seniors are told they're just getting older, when in reality, they're running on an empty B12 tank. The danger is that Common warning signs include persistent fatigue or weakness, brain fog, confusion or memory lapses, tingling or numbness in hands and feet, poor balance or frequent falls, pale skin or brittle nails. If left unchecked, low B12 can even cause permanent nerve damage. The smart fix. Seniors typically need 500 to 1,000 micrograms per day, much higher than the tiny amounts in most multivitamins. Look for methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin. Both are well absorbed in older adults. Choose sublingual lozenges that dissolve under the tongue. They bypass the stomach and go straight into the bloodstream, solving the absorption problem. In cases of severe deficiency, doctors may recommend injections before switching to oral maintenance. Food sources like salmon, tuna, eggs, and yogurt are still valuable, but by themselves, they're often not enough once you're over 60. The best part? B12 is water-soluble, which means your body flushes out the excess. That makes it one of the safest, most forgiving supplements for seniors when you take it the right way. So if magnesium rebuilds you and vitamin D3 shields you, then B12 keeps the spark alive. But there's still one more nutrient that ties it all together. The one linked not just to better health, but to longer life itself. If there's one nutrient that can truly change how you age, it's omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats, especially EPA and DHA, aren't just good for you. They're directly linked to living longer, staying sharper, and moving more easily as the years go by. Here's why omega-3s matter so much after 60. Heart health. They keep blood vessels flexible, lower dangerous triglycerides, and reduce irregular heart rhythms. Brain function. DHA is literally a building block of your brain. Without it, memory and focus fade faster. Joints omega-3s calm inflammation, easing stiffness and pain so you can stay active. Longevity. Large studies show that seniors with the highest blood levels of omega-3s had up to a significantly lower risk of death from all causes compared to those with the lowest. In other words, these fats don't just help you live longer, they help you stay yourself longer. So why are so many people deficient? Nearly 70% of adults over 60 don't get enough omega-3s, mainly because our diets are heavy in processed foods rich in omega-6 oils like corn, soy, and canola. That imbalance fuels inflammation, speeding up aging from the inside out. How to get enough omega-3s? Eat more fatty fish. Aim for 2 to 3 servings per week of salmon, sardines, anchovies, or mackerel. Supplement smartly. Choose a high-quality fish oil that provides at least 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily. For heart or inflammatory issues, some doctors recommend 2,000 milligrams or more. Check the label. Look for fish oils tested for heavy metals and purified for safety. The triglyceride form is usually better absorbed. Take it with meals, especially with healthy fats like olive oil or avocado to boost absorption. Plant-based? Go for algae oil. It provides DHA directly without fish. Food sources like chia seeds, flax, walnuts, and pasture-raised eggs are good, but they mostly contain ALA, a weaker form your body has to convert. That's why direct EPA and DHA from fish or algae are so important after 60. The bottom line, omega-3s are the closest thing we have to a nutritional insurance policy. They don't just protect your heart and brain, they protect your independence, your memory, and your very identity as you age. If you only add one supplement after 60, make it this one. Now, let's tie it all together. Because knowing which vitamins to avoid and which ones to embrace is just the start. The real change comes from the daily choices you make, starting today. So there you have it, the truth about vitamins after 60. Some that look harmless on the label can quietly work against you. Retinol-based vitamin A that piles up in your liver until it turns toxic. Iron that rusts your organs if you're not truly deficient. Calcium-only pills that harden arteries instead of strengthening bones. High-dose B6 that slowly damages the very nerves it's meant to protect. But avoiding danger is only half the battle. The real key is choosing the nutrients that actually support your body where it needs it most. Magnesium, to keep your muscles calm, your sleep deep, and your heart steady. Vitamin D3, the master switch for bones, immunity, and energy. Vitamin B12, the spark plug that protects your nerves and your memory. Omega-3s, the life-extending fats that keep your heart young and your mind sharp. The difference between decline and vitality after 60 isn't just age, it's choices. Every pill, every meal, every label you read moves you closer to weakness or closer to strength. Aging is inevitable, but how you experience it is still in your hands. So tonight, take a few minutes to check the labels in your cabinet, ask your doctor about testing your vitamin levels, replace the harmful with the helpful, and give your body the exact tools it needs to stay strong, sharp, and independent for years to come. If today's video opened your eyes, don't let it stop here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on health truths that actually matter. And in the comments, tell me which vitamin surprised you the most today. Was it one you're already taking? Let's start a conversation that could help more people make smarter choices about their health. Remember, your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right nutrition, they can still be ahead.